Good morning. Welcome back
Oh,
to the Cardax podcast. Today we are joined by Vedran or Vex from Revuto.
yeah, exactly.
Good morning. How are you?
Fine, thank you. How about you?
Wonderful. Thanks. Wonderful. So let's start by finding a bit more about you.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a bit about your journey through your career to get to where you are with Revuto today?
Oof.
Just the
I don't know
highlights.
where to start. That's a good question. So let's start a decade ago because that's when I actually started to work for the IT business. So I had several startups. Nothing actually directly involved with the crypto business, but as I was in IT business, I was reading about everything was going on, and I heard about the Bitcoin in 2012 for the first time, and about the crypto. That is when actually I missed the opportunity to invest some money. And then luckily in 2017, I actually went to San Francisco with my old startup, with my previous startup. And that's actually when I met some really awesome people who were involved in crypto, and that was the time when in 2017 bull market started. So it helped me also to actually earn some money because I was investing at that time. And it was actually funny story how I was introduced to crypto and all other crypto projects is because I was setting up poker events in one startup house, let's call it. So we would gather there during the weekends, and then we would play poker, and I would I would be the bank, and I would deal the cards and everything. And I said to my friends, guys, like the buy-in is $10. And then the first one would come to me and can I Venmo you? The second one would say, can I send you via PayPal? And the third one was, I'm gonna send you 1 Ether. And I said, guys, give me cash. And that's
how the world
said to me,
changes.
but listen, Ether was $8, the day before. Now it's 12, and I was, wow, what is that all about? And that is when I actually start to ask around and get involved with the crypto. Funny story.
Yeah, sometimes it just takes that one tiny little
Yeah.
event, and the whole world changes for you. Mine was really similar.
Exactly.
I bought a very tiny amount of cryptocurrency years ago, well, about 5 years ago, not really knowing anything about it, just hearing that it was a good idea, and forgot all about it. And then a couple of years ago, re-downloaded the app and logged in, and suddenly it was worth more.
Oh, really?
Not a lot more, but right. And then the career starts. So
Yeah.
it's sometimes just the tiniest of thing that can turn your whole life.
Okay, luckily I didn't, mind Bitcoin and forget about my hard disk or something like that, because I would probably kill myself.
Oh, there's some horrible stories that you read, and you just want to cry for the person.
Yeah.
Oh,
and I'm not. Yeah, and I'm not one of those guys, who actually invest and they forget. No, I watch all the time,
Yeah, I do.
So
now.
even today or nowadays, when the Bitcoin is going up and down, I'm like, man, I'm not gonna survive.
It's euphoria one day and just depression the next day. Yeah, I completely understand. So you've had quite a few startups. Can you try to put into words how your previous startups have led to where you are with Revuto? Viocam or Viucam?
Yeah, exactly.
And then
exactly.
all the way back to you. I can't read my own writing. Ulad or Ulud?
Ulad. Yeah, that's like the funny story. So when I started, like in 2011 or something like that, I had an idea, how it would be perfect to actually jump into somebody else's point of view. So what we wanted to do is to put the point of view cameras on people mount those cameras and allow others to actually, jump into, what they are hearing and seeing in that video stream, and actually allow them to communicate with that person. And ULOT was example, so it was a short for Your Life on Demand. So we said, okay, those guys could actually pay per minute for, like jumping in somebody else's shoes, and actually tell that guy to, go around and do stuff and pay for it. And we would set up the events and things like that. And actually the first event that we set up was a live video, a live video poker, so we actually had the poker table, again poker.
I'm noticing a theme here.
This is not gonna sound well. And we, like hired 8 beautiful girls, good-looking girls, and we, put the cameras on them and allow others to actually, see what they're seeing. They would see the cards and tell those girls, how to play those cards. And you would be allowed to actually tell those girls what to tell to others. And it was really funny thing, and it was picking up very well. But we didn't know much about the gaming industry, and then we found out that business was actually impossible to scale, because you had to do, we had the physical table and the room. We had to hire those girls, and it had to be 24/7 hours service, and pretty much we went out of our money very fast. But yeah, that helped us to actually
experience.
Yeah, but that helped us to get in the States, because we applied for one accelerator, and then we went to B2B accelerator, and then they told us, guys, this could be really great to put in business, because you have those in-field technicians and guys who are working, on repairing things, doing a maintenance, but sometimes the experts are on the other side, and this could be great technology to use it for that use case. And then the Google Glass at the time was a big hit, and we thought that now, we have a perfect match, because there is a technology and we're gonna do like the service around it. But then the Google Glass failed because it was a bad product in the end. People don't understand it, because it couldn't actually stream even like HD video. The device would overheat pretty fast and go into auto shutdown and things like that. So then we said, we need to make our own hardware. And then I started to work on that. And so that is, when the Vucam came, and it was basically, although it was a wearable camera that can stick, clip on to eyewear, to glasses, but it was a wearable smartphone. It was running on Android operating system, and you could actually download apps on that camera. But I was having trouble to actually explain, how we can be better than Google Glass, why wouldn't we fail? I had to raise a lot of money to actually build the product, because it's a hardware. I went a few times to China, and I actually made some progress, but still, the problem was how to raise money. And then COVID hit us, and everything in China went into lockdown, and for the small company it was impossible actually to set up the manufacturing, and it was really hard, because the device had to be advanced, so I built it around the Snapdragon, which was pretty powerful, but hard to find the companies that can build it. And and at the time, what happened actually, so when I came to San Francisco to try to raise money, then I met such great people, like my CTO, Marko Rukunic, who was working at the time for Intuit. And, we started to, talk about things and everything. And what I found out, because I was really having trouble with my financials, with how much I was paying just to run my business, on those subscriptions, because all those tools that you need to use, even like the Gmail account, Dropbox, MailChimp, Adobe Creative Suite, Microsoft Office, and things like that. So I had to pay for that on monthly basis. And then what would happen is I was doing a pre-orders for my cameras via my webpage, and what would happen, I would actually sell cameras, but it would take at least like Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Is it okay?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm just enjoying listening to your story.
Okay. Okay, awesome. I would have to wait for the money to come, to my bank account, and it was really long procedure. And then those subscription services they were threatening to me, that they were suspend even like my web page and things like that. And I started to think about, how I can fix that problem, and I asked other startup founders if they have the similar problem. And then I was asking other people if they have problems with other subscriptions, like their Netflixes and, Spotify's and things like that. And then we figure out, that, there is nothing out there that can help us manage all those subscriptions, which we are paying actually with so many different credit or debit cards that we have. And then, we also tend to fall in those free trial traps, so you actually, subscribe because you want to try something for free, and then you forget to unsubscribe, or it is very difficult to unsubscribe because they hide it. Or even, with the Netflix, you can subscribe on a TV, but you cannot unsubscribe on TV. And I looked into numbers, and then I asked Marco, because Marco was working for Intuit on Mint. That was some kind of financial app that was helping people to sort out their financials. Yeah. And I asked for numbers, and then he showed me how much people are actually losing money on their subscriptions. And those that they're not necessarily using, and and things like that. So it was a crazy big number, and we started to talk about it. And I was talking again about the crypto, how crypto can solve it, solve things and help people to actually save money by paying less for those subscriptions if the price of the token goes up. And it was a great time to actually start something else, because with the previous startup, I found out that it would be really hard to actually make it happen. It would, I would have to find a miracle or something like that, or somebody who would really believe in me and give and open me his wallet, with millions of dollars. And I said, this is not going to work, and crypto is picking up. Yeah. And it was really, I fell in love in it, because I believe that, the crypto thing and, digital currencies are just like a part of digital transformation of financial business in general. And also, I was fed up with the traditional financial system, with the banks and everything, how, those long procedures, and how you cannot actually transfer money during the weekends or holidays and things like that. But especially when you're desperate for money, and it was my money, so my money that I cannot use. So
I completely agree. And, there have been times where I want my money, the bank's got it, but it's taking so long to transfer. Why does it take that? I can send an email around the world in seconds,
exactly,
but where's my money? So and in response to the free trial subscriptions and the amount of subscriptions you generally rack up without actually realizing they're there, I am completely on board. It sounds like a brilliant plan, brilliant product, because as I was researching for this interview, I was thinking, as soon as this interview's done, I'm going to get on that and get mine in order, because I don't know how many free TV subscription packages I've got still running, which is scary. So
it is scary, and they just take a small amount per month, but you forget how many of those you have. And it's really hard to track all of this. And what is more important is like all those businesses now, even like harder businesses, are going after subscription business model. So in the future, I'm pretty much sure that you're gonna buy everything on subscription basis. Again, even your hardware, so you just, some of those are even now like giving away hardware for free, but then you pay for the app that controls that hardware per month or something like that.
Software that you buy a fitness bike, and you have to pay a monthly
Exactly.
for that. Okay, so from ULED, you learn about scalability, and
Yeah,
from Viocam, it just opened up the whole world to the idea of what is possible.
it is.
So
It's all connected.
it's a great journey story. That's what I like to ask about, the journey story, because everyone is completely different how they got to the idea of their current project. So, Revuto, what is it?
Yeah.
Tell us about Revuto.
What is it? Basically, it's a subscription management service, but it's like connected with the crypto. Why? Because we decided, to allow people to leverage their crypto assets and DeFi services with their subscription payments. Okay, but in general, the idea was to actually help people to manage their subscriptions, and in the end, to save money on paying for their subscriptions by using crypto. And crypto is, again, we are in a way a payment service, and crypto is a way how to, like those digital assets, you can use them to pay for things or goods, services. But still, there's so many great things about crypto, even like the DeFi setups that allow people freedom to decide, how they want to put their money to work for them. And actually they can gain a lot just by holding the crypto. And it is also a great way to incentivize the whole ecosystem with the cryptocurrencies, because you can also just, for instance, for acquisition model, it's a great thing because you can give away, in a way, cryptocurrency. You can make small airdrops, let's call them so, to actually grow your user base. And obviously everything is connected to price of your token. But again, if you grow your user base, then it's going to be more buying pressure on your token, and then price is going to go up, and then new people are going to come in, and it's all connected. But yeah. And also, it's not just about the service that we are building. It's also about virtual debit cards that we're gonna issue soon, because we're gonna allow people actually to use those cards to pre-authorize with the service providers on the other end. But on this, through our service, people are gonna be able to top up those virtual debit cards with Revuto tokens for a start, and then we're gonna add support for other Cardano native tokens to also include in the ecosystem. And it's a great setup. At the end, people are gonna actually pay less for their subscriptions, or even they're not gonna pay at all, because we're gonna allow them to actually stake their cryptocurrency. And just by generating yield, we're gonna cover with that yield their monthly expenses towards those subscriptions. And it's going to be a great setup, hopefully.
It sounds absolutely brilliant. So if I was using the system, I would open my app, put in all of my subscriptions once I've remembered what they all are.
Exactly.
And the app would just manage them. And is it right that when a payment is due to come out, I can approve it, block it, or snooze it? Is that
exactly? So that's a big thing. So what happens usually, when you subscribe to something, you forget about it. And sometimes what happens, you go on a vacation for a month or 2 or 3, but you're still paying for your Netflix. And you actually don't have to, because all those services are prepaid services. So you pay upfront for something that you're gonna use. And but usually, people don't use it. And with Revuto, you can easily actually block that service for a few months, okay? And then when you want to reuse it, you just approve it. Then you can snooze a payment. What that means, so you actually put a decision, about if you're going to pay or not for a different date, because sometimes service providers, they give you that grace period, when you don't have necessarily to pay for something. For instance, like Dropbox or even like the Gmail, they're gonna allow you to use their service for a month, and you don't have to pay for it. And in the meantime, you can use that money to actually pay for something that you really have to pay. For instance, Netflix is gonna suspend your service immediately next day if you don't pay for it. Okay, but this setup is gonna allow people to better manage their cash flow. Why? Because if you have some certain amount of money and you are just using your personal debit or credit card, it always, if you pre-authorize that card with a Netflix or Dropbox or whatever, it comes, how they take money. It's first come, first serve basis. Okay, so if the Dropbox is actually before your Netflix and you have just money to pay for one thing, then you cannot decide not to pay to Dropbox and then pay for Netflix, because obviously Dropbox is the due date is before, and it's going to take your money, and then you're going to end up not having Netflix. So with the Revuto, we're going to allow people to actually manage those things.
So the Revuto app kind of inserts something, gives you a lot of control over who you pay, what series you are able to watch on
exactly,
and what's
exactly. And then there is like and then it's like another great thing, DeFi. Okay, so people are actually in a crypto space providing liquidity, and putting their funds, money into all kind of protocols actually to earn yield. And we said, why wouldn't we just open the liquidity pools and for the people to provide the liquidity to others. But in our case, we want to allow our users to borrow money from those liquidity pools to cover their subscription expenses when they don't necessarily have money on the due date, and then they return money in a few days later. But those are small amounts, and they can actually, like for instance, if the Netflix is 10 euros, then you will be able to borrow 10 euros from that liquidity pool to cover that expense, and later on pay back 10 euros and 40 cents. That's like a 4% of interest rate, or let's call it, or fee. But for those that are going to actually borrow money or put money in those liquidity pools, they're going to be able to actually earn really decent monthly yield. And that is something unique that we have, because we based everything on a real world use case. It's not just like the DeFi because of a DeFi or a crypto closed loop. We really have a good real world use case business model that is actually sustainable in a way. And and we want to connect those two things in a way, connect Web 2 and Web 3. And we believe that we're going to be able to manage that. And also what is interesting, because that we want to do that without forcing people who are actually taking money from those liquidity pools to collateralize their crypto. Okay, so because we can leverage our app actually, and to force them with our app to repay that debt. And all that is going to be calculated, the fee or interest rate, by our CTO, who actually is a fintech or financial genius, and he was doing a credit score for Intuit and for Credit Karma. He has like more than around 27 patents in that industry, and he his credit score was better than FICO credit score in the US, which is like the government's credit score. So he saved a lot of money for Intuit, and he said, Vedran, I can put my algorithms, AI algorithms, into your app and learn how much we need to charge those guys, that fee, to actually be able to repay all those, like and to allow others to get yield, so and not to lose money. So I believe that this is a great setup, and it's like in a way unique setup. It's secure, Why? Because those like let's call them short micro lendings are short. It's a short span. It's like 1 month tops, and if you don't actually repay your debt, you're gonna lose or your virtual debit cards. You're gonna use ability to use the app and everything, so you're gonna lose everything. And I believe that people are gonna okay, some of them are not gonna repay the debt, but majority it will. We're gonna calculate the fees and everything, and it should work. And the whole that like the system that I explained now is gonna be out in Q2 this year. So we are working on that. We are now like going through really difficult compliance and onboarding procedure with the bank issuing and card issuing partner, and hopefully that's going to be over soon, and we're going to be ready to issue those virtual debit cards to our users. So yeah,
fantastic. So it's not just a subscription management platform, it's a micro borrowing and lending platform as well, with its own token.
Exactly.
Revuto token.
Mm-hmm.
Where does the token fit into all
exactly
this? Is this, do people earn this as yield from the liquidity providing, or where does it fit in?
So first of all, there is a lot of money in crypto in general, and people are trying to find a way how to put that money to work for them in let's call it a real world. That there's a crypto world, and then it's classic that like a standard financial business. So we said, we're gonna use those debit cards to actually be a proxy between the crypto and fiat world, and we're gonna allow people to use those cards and to actually even like but just by using Revu, okay? So they're gonna still, for those who gonna have Bitcoins or Ethereum, ADA, they're gonna have to buy Revu to be able to do all those things in our app. But again, the whole tokenomics was done to actually help people save their money, to better manage their financials, to earn money. We also are using crypto actually to give people cashback, so that's awesome way how they can save money. Although they can save just by blocking, snoozing, or approving or managing their subscriptions by that way with the virtual debit card, they are gonna get a cashback, 4% of the cashback. But what is interesting with the crypto, when you get a cashback in crypto, if new users are coming and if the buying pressure on your Revu is growing, then that cashback, the amount that you're gonna get back, is also growing. And at the end, that 4% could end up being 40%. Okay, so if you pay for your Netflix $10, you can end up paying just $6, just by getting and holding that cashback. Then we have a really awesome referral program, which we call passive income program, because by inviting others to actually use Revuto for paying their subscriptions, you're gonna get a small portion of their cashback as well. So again, it's just a great acquisition and incentive program in a way. It's not I want to just distinguish that it's not multi-level marketing, because you're not going to get it from a friend from a friend from a friend from a friend, but it's just like a great acquisition model. And what we found out also, like all other fintech products or companies are paying nowadays, paying real money to get new customers. So for instance, if you go on Revolut or things like that, you're gonna, or even on the crypto.com, you get $25 there, you get like $30, $50. They're giving money to get new users. We are actually giving portion of the crypto of our supply to those users to incentivize the whole ecosystem.
Yeah, it's quite.
I believe
it's quite a common model now and that just shows that if everyone is offering referral programs to bring in and pay money to bring in new customers, it's not going away anytime soon, and it's really, the business is really hotting up. The ecosystem as a whole is becoming more and more competitive, which is always good for us end users.
It is.
And app runners. I think it's an amazing.
But listen, it was always like that. Yeah, but it was always like that. Now, just like crypto replaced some other things. For instance, you would go in shop and you would get like the loyalty points or the credits. If you're buying always at the same store, okay, and then you would be able to actually use those points to get a discount later on.
Yeah.
With the crypto is the same thing, but what comes with the crypto is that possibility to actually send those loyalty points to somebody else, let's call them so, those credits, pay for something else with it, so many opportunities. And in the end, those points can actually gain in
value.
They can gain value, exactly. So more advantages. Okay.
It's brilliant. It's fun, and it really is the future of like finance in general. I think the historical antiquated system that we all have to use, we don't have to use it anymore. There's a future. There's
exactly
a doubt, and it's very exciting to see where the next X amount of years are going to go with crypto and DeFi. I'm super excited about it, and I really
exactly.
I'm super excited about your
and then thank you. Thank you. And then there is that freedom that you get with the crypto. Yeah. You actually can control your funds how in a way you want to do it, because you can easily there is Revuto and you can put money in those liquidity pools and provide liquidity to others to give them those loans, small loans. Then you can put your money in some other DeFi protocols. So there's so many things out there in the world, and we are all connected today. So why wouldn't you be able to do that? With the banks, it's quite different story. You need to you're constrained with everything, and with the legal and paperwork, and it's so slow, it's so and expensive. So
well, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you today, and I'm really excited to see where Revuto goes. And as soon as I can, I'm going to be jumping on there and downloading the app myself, and I will be using it because I know that
you can already download the app.
Yeah. Well, in about 10 minutes,
app is available.
Yeah. So it's all running.
Okay.
It's all running. Yeah. Sorry, I made it sound like it wasn't available. It's ready to download. It's up and running, but with more features coming.
Yeah, app is available. Exactly. So we already have like more than 350,000 people that are using the app. We are introducing every 2 weeks new features, and then we're gonna end up by introducing that subscription management service and virtual debit cards. But now we have also like introduced the staking center to our app, which is actually allow us to build even better foundations, for the time when the tokenomics start to work, when we issue those virtual debit cards. So people can also get yield by staking their Revu tokens, get Revu tokens back as a yield, or get other Cardano native tokens as a reward as well. So, many other amazing things are going to come in the future. So
super excited. I've got one more question for you. One more short, punchy question.
Okay.
In one sentence, what does the success of Revuto look like to you? When will you be able to sit back and think, I set out what I need to do? What does that look like?
Yeah, that's an awesome question. So listen, I believe that we are actually building the product that's gonna change how we actually pay and manage for subscriptions in general. So how I see the product, I see, when you decide, how to actually pay for your subscription, or, if you're gonna use, your credit or debit card, whatever, then you're gonna actually have the option to use Revuto, and you're gonna always choose Revuto because only Revuto gives you so many advantages compared to just, you know, pre-authorizing directly your debit or credit card. It's gonna save you from unwanted expenses. You're gonna have control over your subscriptions. You're gonna be able to actually get cashback and referral rewards. Then you're gonna be able to actually cover your expenses just by holding your cryptocurrency and so many other things. So in my mind, you know, there shouldn't be a reason why people wouldn't be using Revuto compared to anything else. Just to be clear, there are many other fintech products that are trying to actually manage subscriptions, but all of those, even like the Truebill that was now a few days ago acquired by I don't know who, but it was like $1.3 billion exit or something like that. Crazy amount. So they're just like trackers. They can just track what you're doing, you know, and then you can set up notifications and alarms, but Truebill is not actively controlling anything, okay? Because it cannot, okay? They just connect to your transaction account in your bank. They search, you know, for all those transactions, and they find out subscriptions, what are recurring payments, and they're gonna say, hey, you have Netflix, you have Dropbox, and then you can set up alarms and, you know, notifications when to unsubscribe and things like that, you know. But you know, if you don't do it by yourself, you know, yeah, it's not going to work. So we are really different, you know, and hopefully people are gonna you know, like find about it, you know, use it, and you know, make the same conclusion as now I did. So yeah,
that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's always the same word or sentence. We want to change the world.
Well, I think you're in the right place to do it. And to quote you, you just said, I don't know whether you realize you said it, but you said only Revuto gives you it all. So only Revuto gives you it all.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Well, thanks for joining us. It's been a pleasure to talk to you, and I'm super excited about your project, and I'm going to keep an eye on where it goes and all the different updates that you've got coming out. So thank you very much. Been a pleasure.
Thank you, Paul. Yeah, thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.